Never be boring is one of the golden rules for broadcasters. Actually, there's an American broadcast trainer who's done a lot of work here in Australia by the name of Valeries, and that's one of her golden rules. And it sounds so obvious. Why would you want to get on radio and bore people? Yet I'm sure you've all heard boring radio from time to time. So how is Valerie's advice to broadcasters handy for you? Well, with a lot of speeches, they are just that, boring, because people are trying to impart often quite dry, dull information, facts. They're using bullet points on PowerPoint slides, and it can just get overly dull. So the thing to do before you do a presentation is to ask yourself, well, what's my goal? What am I wanting to achieve? Am I hoping the audience will go and buy my stuff? If it's at work, am I hoping the employees will contribute more positively to a good workplace culture? Whatever it is, come up with that goal first, then go about creating your speech. Now, in doing that, think of the 3 key messages you want to leave your audience. You want to have them remember those messages. And in order to do that, rather than just tell them your 3 critical points, bring the points to life with a story, a real life story, including the dialogue that you had with people, and even better, try and add some humor. That will make your speech, your presentation, that much more memorable. Okay, let me give you an example. Say I was brought in as the middle-aged broadcaster to give a presentation to some first-year students of broadcasting. Here's a way I could use a story to make my point. So it really is absolutely vital not to bore our audiences. And I actually discovered this, I'm embarrassed to say, after listening to a recording of myself about 15 years ago. I thought, oh, I'm bored. I wouldn't listen to Greg. So I went to a manager and I explained this. I said, listen, I think we need to lift the presentation, the audio quality, the content. What can we do? And he said, well, have you heard of Valeries, the broadcast consultant in the United States? She's worked with a lot of the top broadcasters here at the ABC. Maybe grab her book, read that, and we can incorporate some of what she says. Well, one of Valeries' golden rules is never be boring. And if you think about all the leading broadcasters here in Australia, you might have your differences, you might not like them, you might not like their politics, but the one thing they have in common is to never be boring. So when you're going about creating your radio programs, keep that in mind. It's so obvious, but unfortunately, it's often overlooked. Okay, so there's an attempt to use a real-life story to drum home the point. Don't bore your audience with your speech. Hope that helped.